Welcome to a brief introduction about the Smart Edit concept, which is part of the Easy Sounds new montage sound expansion FM-Xperience. I'd like to demonstrate how to use this concept to quickly tweak performances and store them as new variations. I'll start with some single part performances first. In this case, I have the pad performance Wine Glass Concert, and it sounds like this. To make it a more dark one, I'll bring all the way down the modulator, filter, and also reduce the LFO pitch. In addition, I will give a bit more attack. For a quick comparison, I now store the performance and assign it to the live set. Another variation could be kind of the upper side sound. In this case, I increase the modulator to about 115 and the filter to about 100 and set the skirt to maximum level. In addition, I increase the reverb to about 90 and store the result. This one is a pretty dark lead performance with its initial settings. I will now use the pre-programmed Assign Ever knobs to shape it into a pretty different sounding lead performance. First, I increase the octave to about 100. Now the modulator needs more value, something around 95 or so. So far so good. But now it comes to working with the frequency. I will set this exact to the value of 96. This is where the magic happens. To shape it even more, I reduce the decay to about 7 and store it for a comparison. Sounds pretty different, right? Let's see what we can get out of this one. I'll reduce the operator 1 level to about 64 and set the frequency to maximum. Operator 2's frequency could be set to 96. I now set resonance and skirt to 0 and reduce the chorus a bit to about 45. Now it's time to store and compare it to the initial sound. I will try another variation starting from the initial settings. In this case, I just reduce the operator 1 level a bit to around 100 and also reduce the frequency to a value of 32. At this point, let me mention that in many cases, the next harmonic sounding steps from the middle position of 64 are 32 to the left and 96 to the right. In case I know the exact value, I personally prefer to put in the value using the number field, which is quick and precise. I'll also use this to set the frequency of operator 2 to 69. To complete my tweak, I reduce resonance to around 90, bring the skirt to maximum, and reduce the values to about 30 for the chorus and 80 for decay. A bit more variation, around 60, and I'm ready to store. Now I took one of the AM/FM morph performances, which is arpeggio based. For my first variation, I will reduce the cutoff to about 33 and set the assignable knob 2 all the way to the left, which is the AN side. I give a bit more value to the envelope, and that's it for this version. This is what it sounds like after I stored it. In another example, starting from the initial setting, I also reduce the cutoff to about 33, but now bring up the assignable knob 2 to the full right, which is pure FM. In this case, I reduce the envelope setting to about 39 and bring up the FM frequency to around 96. I also reduce the FM out to 100, the FM form and the skirt to 70. After storing, I can compare all of my versions. This one is also arpeggio driven. I work with around 10 for the modulator and bring up the assignable knob 2 to maximum. Then I set skirt and resonance to 0 and reduce decay to around 50. That's all for a first audition after storing the performance. Now I go for around 90 for the modulator and 96 for the frequencies, 1 to 4. This time I also reduce the frequency for 5 to 7 to minimum value. I set the skirt to maximum and resonance to about 90. Finally, I reduce the decay just a bit to 60 and store this new version. All these single-part arpeggio performances are really fun because you can tweak them while playing or just holding a few notes with the sustain pedal. For this first variation, I reduce the modulator to 64, set the frequency for operator 1 to maximum and the feedback to 0. A bit more delay, and after storing I am able to compare both versions. This time I will reduce the modulator, not that much, to about 80 or so. I also set the frequency for operator 1 to 127, but in addition reduce the frequency for operator 2 to 32, the next harmonic step below the middle position of this assignable knob. In this case, I'll increase the feedback to maximum and decrease the sub-LFO frequency to 0. Again, a bit more delay and I'm ready to store this variation. For this last example in this video, I'll take one of the 8-part performances to demonstrate that the same Smart Edit concept works for each and every single part in a multi-part performance as well. After calling up the performance, each common assignable knob can have a common or part parameter assigned to it. But as soon as I select a part, the part assignable knobs are shown and ready to use. I will now start working with some parameters on the bass part, the bass drum and the synth sequence on part 3. Let's see how it might go. As you can see, there is really a huge potential within this montage FMX sound expansion. We have to keep in mind that I focused on the assignable knobs in this video by decision. In addition, it is possible to use the faders for the operator's volume control. The possibilities are nearly endless if we once got the idea how it works. For none of my changes I ever used the Edit button or had to dive into a page full of parameters. Everything works through the user interface and is carefully prepared to definitely let nobody go wrong. Of course, if you are interested, feel free to dive into the deeper parameter levels. More detailed information about this sound expansion and the Smart Edit concept is available in our Music Production Guide, Issue 9, 2017. It can be downloaded for free, like described by the end of this video. I hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching.